My name is Jade, and this is my partner Tori, and we're called The Bad Pitches, so hopefully this pitch goes well. Our animation is a short project created using Adobe After Effects, Paint-Tool-Sai, and Photoshop, and it's called The Puka's Dance. Let me back there.
So the brief asked us to create either a character-based game, short animation, or VFX film with theme based around myths, legends, and folklore within Northern Ireland. We were required to support the stages of pre-production, production, and post-production in order to achieve this brief whilst working to a professional standard. We were also encouraged to use the Agile and Scrum process in order for production to run smoothly and for it to be centred around team building and communication. We will then be releasing our projects to market, and we will show the best way on how to approach this based on our project choice.
To put our animation bluntly, it is set in the 1600s, and this is during the late Tudor period. You follow the story of a character named Puka, but it can go by many different names. This mystery character can wreak havoc amongst the local people and sometimes plays tricks on them. He can take on many different animal forms, which can make him quite powerful. One day the Puka hears faint music off in the distance while he's roaming through the woodland area. He decides to investigate it, and harmonic tunes and the beautiful voice of the singer forces the Puka to investigate. He's mesmerized by the sound and feels as though he must know its source. Once the Puka finds where the music is coming from, however, he's immediately put into a trance and is hypnotized. He then changes from one form to the next and has a newfound respect after listening to the bard's lullaby. He then takes a bow in front of the bard, and the bard bows back to him, and he now has a newfound perspective on the human race, and peace is restored amongst the two. And there's the Puka, just running through that.
So we thought that younger audiences, such as children aged 4 to 12, would enjoy our animation based on the cartoon style, characters featured, and general narrative. These can also be similar to some Disney animations that are also enjoyed by children of a similar age. Some key characteristics of our viewers may include fun-loving, family-oriented, have an interest in cartoons and animation, or they may have a love for music.
Disney has been influential on the design approach for this project. That's the wee doggy. So, since our age rating is towards people that are aged 4 to 12, we thought this age demographic would be best as they tend to enjoy animations that feature bright colors, friendly characters, and just playful storyboarding in general. We made sure that our content didn't feature sexual content, drug abuse, nudity, threat, violence, and in some cases foul language and antisocial behavior, as we thought this would be inappropriate for younger audiences. We decided to rate it youth, meaning suitable for all ages, and used the rating system created by BBFC, British Board of Film Classification, as we thought that this would be the best approach to decide on what kind of ages would be suitable and to figure out what nature would be good for us.
So the genre depended on what we thought our target audience would be interested in. Our animation automatically fit into the fantasy genre due to myths being our main focus. However, it still fits under adventure, historical, magical fiction, and surrealism.
Since our animation is video based, we looked at all different platforms based around videos. We looked at YouTube being due to its popularity and how many people actually upload to here. We looked at Twitch livestream for those that enjoy watching the production of an animation or art in general. We also looked at Reddit because it offers a lot of people that enjoy art in general, and they can comment and give us feedback on it. ArtStations for future employment and also get feedback from fellow animators themselves. Umgur for the exact same reason as Reddit due to their friendly user base. We also looked at Facebook and Twitter, mainly because we could spread our animation through wider audiences through the share and retweet option.
So we tried to split up the roles as evenly as possible. We both took on concept art, location research, puppet animating, general animating, composing, and VFX. VFX, as we both have similar skill levels within each of these. I then took on the individual role of doing storyboards and general audio, and Jade here took on the role of finding and importing suitable music.
Storyboards. What is storyboard, you might ask? It is a graphic organizer in the form of illustrations and images that can help the team to understand the story and narrative in general. The reason why we use them is that it can help to share your vision amongst your team. It makes production easier, and it can help to save you time. It establishes framing, it provides blocking and focus information, and it can also help you to plan your camera movements ahead of time. You can also make changes along the way. These are our storyboards that were created by my partner here, Tori, based on the narrative that I designed. In the first one, up on 1.1, you can see that the puka is running through the forest. The camera would be scrolling from left to right here, following the puka's movements. The general ambience here would be forest sounds, the sound of nature, and leaves crunching as his footsteps move along. In scenes 1.2, we get to see where the bard would reside, and the camera would pan from left to right. We thought we'd add bird noises here and general wind, so just to get some immersion. In scenes 2.1, we get a full body shot of the bard, and this will actually zoom in, and there will be more focus on the music here rather than in the other scenes, as we're much closer to where the source is. In scenes 2.2, we get a close-up of the bard, and we can see her mouthing the song in general. And in 3.1, the camera would scroll from left to right, but then stop abruptly so that the puka can come up into the scene. You'll see his ears twitch in the direction where the sound's coming from, and the music would be fainting here, so that he needs to go and find it. We thought we'd maybe drown out most of the forest ambience so that the main focus can be on the music. In the last scene in the sixth storyboard sequence, you could see both the characters and how the puka approaches him. The music will be loud here, and there'll be no other ambience added, because we want the main focus to be on the music.
Now that the puka is in his trance, he begins to dance and transform into all these different creatures, including a rabbit, dog, horse, and goat. Towards the end of the song, he changes back into his original form and he bows with the bard. As for sound, within the dancing scenes, it'll be mainly the music in the background and crunching footstep noises. And then for the last scene, the music will stop and there'll be general ambience such as wind, birds, trees rustling. Camera angles and camera shots for the dance scenes, it will be full body shot just to show off the movement, and this will be taken at eye level. And then for the last scene, it's known as a two shot where both characters are within the frame, and this will also be taken at eye level.
Moving on to the concept art of the characters. These are actually all the characters that are going to be featured in our animation. The bard and the puka being the main ones. I'm just going to hash this here, these two. So these are the character concepts, and this is also the inspiration on what we got from it. For the bard, we decided to look at enchantment for her color choices. As you can see, many of the similar colors that we used here. And for her actual clothing fashion, we decided to look at the Tudor period to see what bards would actually wear. I couldn't find any images for the exact design, I lost it. For the puka character, we looked extensive research for the biology and his general look in general, and we looked at Witcher 3, which was our main idea for the concept art. We thought it would be best for both of us to go with a simplistic design for both characters due to the difference in our art styles. We also looked at a technique that's used in most cartoons today, which is called the Ludo limb effect. Basically, it means that the limbs, the legs and arms, don't have a bone structure so that they can move freely, and this will help in our animating process.
So as for the landscapes, we went into a vast amount of detail as we felt that this would complement the simplicity of the characters. Our inspiration came from Disney again. Their approach, especially in some of their older animations, is to use relatively simple cartoon characters while putting in a lot of detail within their backgrounds. This is like to make them more interesting but not to overshadow the characters. Our backgrounds were created within Photoshop, however they were sketched out traditionally first. This is to give us a better idea of colour and layout that we could use.
Just get my notes back. For the creation of the animation, we did actually decide in the beginning that we were going to do frame by frame drawing, but due to our time frame we thought it would take us years to do that, so we decided against it. We also looked at rotoscoping because it was popular amongst Year 2s last year, but due to most of our characters being animal form, it would be quite hard to replicate that. In the end, we did decide to go with a technique known as puppet animating that was featured in Adobe After Effects. This technique allows us to cut our animation process by 50% compared to what we would have used if we used rotoscoping or frame by frame. It's quite helpful because you can move each limb, and with the new alarm effect, it means we could do a lot more with it. For the actual character creations, we use Photoshop and Paint Tool, mostly because me and my partner are both very knowledgeable in both these softwares. The reason why I want to use Paint Tool is because it has a stabilizer option, which makes my lines a lot more smoother. But however, when it came to Photoshop, I designed all the backgrounds in there because it offered more brush presets and just gave me a wider variety to use different techniques. This is the Adobe After Effects logo and Paint Tool logo, which is our main softwares. In this image here, which is cut out unfortunately, the base pin just here is so that the limb doesn't move away from the character, whereas the 3 pins below that are to represent the joints. So that allows us to move that freely whenever we want, and it will actually predict where the motion is going as we move it, so it makes it a lot easier. When we create anything in Paint Tool we have to convert the file into PSD, otherwise After Effects won't recognize that PSD is a Photoshop file. Whenever you import a Photoshop file into Adobe After Effects, it allows you to see all the different layers that you created in Photoshop. This makes it easier for us to change the limbs, move the head pieces, and change the ear types. So whenever we did put the layers in, we had to rename each one, just so that we wouldn't get confused in what we were animating.
So our original inspiration came from the research that we done online on myths, legends and folklore within Northern Ireland. Our environment inspiration came from Slave Gullion and the Narnia Trail found in Cobrony Park, and you can see at the left hand side some images we took, and these were used as reference